You don't have to whine. I told you to shut up. You never whine.
Hi.
Hi, Megan.
Oh, is my microphone muted?
Nope, you're good. I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm just gonna wait just a couple more minutes if that's okay, because I have
no problem.
wanting to pop on. Thank you.
Of course. So you and your team are mostly in Canada, right? In Ontario?
Yes. Yes. We have a couple girls, like one of the girls on here is from Wisconsin. A lot of us, yeah, I'm actually out in Alberta right now.
Okay.
I'm originally from Ontario, but yeah, most of the girls are from like GTA area.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll get started. We said 6, so they'll, I'm sure, kind of trickle in as you're talking. So first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to do this for us. I know we've all been really, really excited and looking forward to this. So you guys, this is Beachbody Super Trainer Megan Davies. She's the creator of Clean Week, and she's here to chat with us tonight, which I am so honored and just so excited for. I'm not going to do too much talking. I'm just going to pass it right over to her.
Hey guys, well, first of all, thank you guys. I like to be able to connect with you guys and stuff. So being invited on these team calls and you guys taking the time out of your day to be with me is pretty cool with me. So thank you guys for taking the time to do that and having me. So usually I start these calls by telling you a little bit more about me, my background, kind of how I got into fitness and how it relates to why we created Clean Week and how you guys can use Clean Week better in your businesses. Because I talk to a lot of coaches and I don't think they realize the full potential for Clean Week within their businesses. So this should be a pretty cool call tonight if you guys haven't really got the details about Clean Week down. So my story starts off, I have been a trainer for since I was 18 years old. I have been kind of on my own fitness journey since I was 14. I started doing figure and fitness competitions kind of very randomly at 14 years old. So I've been a figure competitor for a long time now. And when most people hear that, they say, oh, well then your family just must have been in fitness. Like this must have been something you've always done. They got you into it. Like easy for you, right? But that couldn't have been further from the truth. My family was always super unhealthy. I kind of watched my family when I was growing up do the roller coaster that a lot of people do of losing weight in all the wrong ways, gaining all that weight back, and just kind of doing the yo-yo crash dieting and all that stuff. I tell people all the time that our diet was so bad, it was like we ordered pizza several times a week and ordered pizza so much that at one point my parents were like, oh, we need to eat healthier. We're not going to call for pizza for a while. And they didn't call for like 2 weeks, and the pizza company called us. And they were like, are you okay? Did we do something wrong? Can we send you a free pie? You know, what happened? And they were just like, we just wanted to eat healthier. But apparently we were paying their like bills at the pizza place. So they were very concerned about us. And so then my parents would go on diets and we didn't really know what to do. And so it was anything with the word diet on it, fat-free on it, sugar-free on it. And so I grew up with a diet of a lot of like diet soda, sugar-free Pop-Tarts, fat-free Hot Pockets, just garbage basically, but it said the word fat-free on it. Like, of course it needs to be good for you, right? We just didn't know any better at that time. And so I watched my family go on this roller coaster, and the only reason I kind of wasn't physically going on that roller coaster with them was because I was the only one that was active in my family. The rest of my family was very sedentary, and I was just always the person that loved to be running around outside and involved in sports. And like I said, I kind of fell into doing strength and fitness and figure competitions at a very young age. So I just completely fell in love with strength training. And when I started competing, my dad was always kind of interested in strength training. He was an athlete at some point in his life. And so he had like the Arnold's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding and stuff in our house. And so it's always something that was kind of something he liked. But at one point I was about 16 years old. I had been doing shows for a few years. I had been competing, and my parents came to see me at one of my shows along with the rest of my family. And during intermission, I went out to the audience. I sat down next to my dad. We're all talking and stuff. And I just looked at my dad and I was like, you know, Daddy, I feel so sorry for you. And he's like, you feel sorry for me? What do you feel sorry for me for? And at the time, he was 47 years old. He had a 42-inch waist. He was around 100 pounds overweight, but he'll tell everybody that he stopped getting on the scale at some point. But actually all that stuff didn't occur to me. He had all these health issues. I kind of knew about that, but it's not really where I was coming from at that moment. At that moment, I just, like I said, knew that he was interested in all of this stuff, and he wasn't doing any of it for himself. He was killing himself at work. I could see how tired and stressed he was every single day. And so he was kind of giving me all those opportunities and not doing any of those things for himself. And your kids can tell that you are not living your best life and not taking care of yourself, and they want you to take care of yourself. And that's really where I was coming from. And so he sat there for a moment and he was like, man, like, I need to make this a real change this time. Like, I can't be messing around anymore. So in front of the rest of my family, he said, well, by the time I'm 50 years old, I want to get on that stage and I want to compete with you at the same competition. And so we were all like very excited, but at the same time, it's like I said, we had watched that roller coaster ride for so long that we were kind of like, okay, well, we're going to like pump him up and be there for him as long as this one lasts. We'll see how long it lasts, hopefully for a long time. But it was a little bit different this time because he had me at home already doing it with him. So instead of him trying to do it by himself, he had a little bit of backup and support. As he started to lose the weight, then my mom was kind of like, oh, wait, he's really sticking to this. He's really doing it this time. I want to do that too. So she joined in. And then my brother joined in, and it just became like this like family thing that we were doing, working out in the garage together, learning about nutrition together. I always stop right there and say, it was just as important for me to learn nutrition at that point as it was for my dad. And we were on very different ends of the fitness spectrum at that point. Here I am, like on stage, 6-pack, winning competitions, and here's my dad that needs to lose 100 pounds. And anybody would say, well, he's the one that needs to learn about nutrition. My body fat was so low, and I had cut so many things out of my diet that my hair was falling out, that my cycle was messed up. So when you see these people on like Instagram and things like that have like shredded abs, yes, some of them are doing it right, but some of them are doing it very wrong. And at that time, I was doing it very wrong. I was very young. I just had no idea. I was playing the guessing game at that point. So it was very important for both of us to learn nutrition at that point. And so my dad did get on that stage by the time he was 50. His goal was not to embarrass himself because he was just like, I just want to look like I belong on that stage. But I'm like watching the competition. I'm like, man, I think he's going to do really well. I've seen tons of these shows by now. I'm like, I think he's going to do well. I think he might place and get a trophy. So I went running backstage. I was like, if my dad wins something, can I go give him his trophy? And the lady's like, oh, honey, your dad's not going to win something. He's going to win the men's over 50 masters division. He's getting first place. So he won his first place in his age category. And it was just kind of like the pinnacle of, I don't know, my family making this transformation all together was me getting to go out and give him his trophy. And so from there, of course, like you guys building your businesses, we just had friends and family asking us like, how did you do it? What are you doing? And we started just trying to train people in my dad's garage. We were doing little nutrition seminars in our living room. That got so big, it moved to a park. And eventually I had gotten a job at a dermatology office. I was sitting at my desk job most of the day. I actually had a few different jobs at that point. I would wake up at 3:30 in the morning. I would train myself at 4 a.m. I would go to my first job at the dermatology office. At night, I would manage a small gym that was kind of in the area, not mine. And then even later than that, I would go into my dad's garage and I would train people. And so at like 10 o'clock at night, my head would hit the pillow and pass out, and I would do it all again the next day. Kind of burning the candle at both ends at that point in my life. And so one day my dad called me up while I was at work and just said, we have a lot of people in the garage. We have a lot of people in the park. Maybe we have a business here. You inspired me at one point, I think you need to make a change. You're not happy sitting at that job every day. Maybe you need to make a change too. And so I left work that day to look at a facility. And like a lot of things, I think when you're in the right place in the right time. And that's exactly what I felt when I was walking in this place. Like, this is really what I was meant to do. I wasn't meant to sit at that dermatology office and crunch numbers all day long. And so that day, with all the different jobs and all like the long hours, I had managed to save $3,000. First class in security was $3,000 to open up this business. And so I literally emptied out my bank account. We put what little equipment my dad had from the garage into this gym. And by Monday we had a gym, and then we went, oh crap, what did we do? None of us had any experience running a gym. We didn't know if these people that were pretty much coming to us for free at this point would actually pay to make this transition with us. And the ultimate answer was yes. Again, as you guys see running your businesses, I think my experience translates so well into how you guys grow and run your businesses, because they could just tell that we were trying to do it out of love, out of supporting them, out of trying to show them a true, real, sustainable way, not trying to give them any gimmicks or tricks or quick fixes or anything like that. We truly wanted to help these people. And they saw that, so the ultimate answer was, yes, we're going to join with you in this gym, in this adventure you guys are going on. And so we've had the gym for 8 years now, going on 8 years in June, I think will be our 8th year. And my mom is our office manager. Me, my dad, and my brother are all trainers. Actually, my mom started teaching dance classes too, so she's a trainer now too. So we're all in it together. And in 2015 is when I got the call asking me to be on a reality show. And if anybody knows me, they know that I'm a huge introvert. And before Beachbody, doing anything like this, talking to this amount of people, whether it was on a video, whether it's on stage at Summit, anything would have been a nightmare for me. I would have been like, no, I cannot do that. My heart would have been pounding in my ears, and I wouldn't have been able to get 2 words out on stage, or like I said, even in a video like this. So at the time I was like, no, I do not want to do reality show. That sounds like my nightmare. And I said no. And they called me a second time, like, please, please, please be on this reality show. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I do not want to be followed around with cameras. They said, but it's for this company. It's called Beachbody. And I said, I don't know what that is, and I still don't want to do it. Thank you, goodbye. Click. And the third time's a charm. They called me again, and I was like, okay, like, worst case scenario, I send in all these audition tapes. They're not going to pick me. Why would they pick me? And so I sent in all the audition tapes, and pretty much to my horror, a few months later, they called me back. And that's the point where I was like, well, let me see what this Beachbody thing is, and started Googling it. Kind of side note, I had met Tony Horton many years ago and spent like a whole day with him at one point, and still did not put the pieces together. And so one of the first things that pops up when I started Googling Beachbody was, of course, Tony Horton's face. I was like, oh, the guy with the really cool job. I really need to take this more seriously. So if you don't know, the 20s is how I got my opportunity with Beachbody. It's a reality show on Beachbody on Demand. Just kind of follows around a group of trainers that were vying for the opportunity. It's pretty interesting. They made it interesting because we thought it was going to be boring. A bunch of people just eating healthy and working out all day. We were like, this is going to be boring. But they made it interesting. And it's a good little binge watch, short little 20-minute episodes. And the only thing I'll tell you about that is it was a true reality show. We had no TV, no internet, no cell phones, no contact with the outside world. We were in that house for 8 weeks with just each other. Even the people that like walk around and film you, you're not allowed to really talk with them or interact with them. So like 9 people in a house for 8 weeks, and you go a little stir crazy. At the end, they picked 3, like the top 3 basically. And they had us all in a room. We're thinking, okay, we've been in this house for 8 weeks. They're about to announce the winner. It's one of us. And somebody from Beachbody walks into the room and says, we're not going to pick a winner today. And the 3 of us are just like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, we really do want it to be a surprise when this actually airs. And we do want our coaches to vote for who they want to be the super trainer. So we are going to have you film 3 different endings. So when you see me win on the 20s, I didn't actually win. I filmed 2 more endings where I lost. And it wasn't until 6 months from then that the episode was going to air. And Carl called me right before that episode aired and told me that they were going to play my episode, basically. So kind of messed up. But ultimately it worked out. So after that, things had to move very quickly into what kind of program I would want to create. And with the 20s, we had to make a beginner and an advanced workout, kind of showcasing what our style of training was. And mine was very athletic. I had ladders, I had a pull-up bar, So that's kind of where I thought that they would want me to go with my workout, kind of my style of training. But instead, when I sat down with Carl, he was kind of like, okay, that's your style of training. He goes, but who is the person that you actually train in your gym day to day? Who is that person? Do you train athletes? And I'm like, no, not really. I train just the average person that wants to lose some weight, gain some muscle, feel more confident about themselves. Like, that's who I train. I hardly train any athletes, in fact. And he's like, that's what I thought. And he goes, and watching you go through the process of the 20s, he's like, you really had to learn about Beachbody. You had no idea what Beachbody was. And in fact, I had a lot of misconceptions going into the 20s about what Beachbody was. I knew kind of the different programs. So I knew Insanity, I knew P90X, but seeing some of the promo materials for that, I'm like, Insanity, they're just trying to make people throw up. They're just trying to dig people into the ground. What are they doing? I didn't know that there was a nutrition program with all the programs. I didn't know that there was a modifier, so literally anybody could kind of scale it to them. So I really didn't know the ins and outs of Beachbody at all. And through the 20s, I had to learn. And Carl's like, it just kind of made me realize that there's plenty of people out there that have those same misconceptions that you had, that need to be shown how much Beachbody has to offer, not only in the workouts, but in the nutrition as well. And with Shakeology, how many more people truly need to be kind of introduced into Beachbody the way you were introduced into Beachbody. And that's really kind of where we started coming up with the concept of Clean Week, was something that is super attainable, that is going to give them like a quick win, that they're going to feel really good about themselves, but that's also going to kind of introduce them into all things Beachbody. Like I said, workouts, nutrition, Shakeology. And so from here, I always talk about, I know you guys hit this kind of issue anytime you're talking to somebody that wants to kind of go into Beachbody. There's a lot of barriers that people have. There's a lot of things that come up, walls and things that they're like, no, I can't because of finances, because I'm too out of shape, I'm too old, I'm too this and too that. There's so many different things. And so I kind of started terming them the fit barriers: financial barrier, insecurity barrier, and time barrier. The three things that are pretty much going to stop anybody from doing anything, whether it's their fitness journey or not, kind of fits in one of those three categories. And I think we did a really good job as we created Clean Week and kind of demolishing all those barriers. And so the first one is that financial barrier. With Clean Week, one of the problems that a lot of people have is they don't know what Beachbody is. Like, I didn't know what Beachbody is. What am I putting my credit card down for? This person messaged me on Facebook and I'm just like signing up for something. What is this? Already kind of this wall goes up. And so instead of putting their credit card down on file somewhere and they're like, kind of hesitant about that, this is a one-time payment. They're paying for their kind of sample box of Shakeology. It has all the Clean Week materials in there. It's $29.95 here. I don't know what that translates into in Canada, but it's a one-time payment. So already people feel a little bit better about that. But there are still going to be people that are like, absolutely not. I've tried everything in the fitness world. I've spent all the money on all the things, and I am not spending another dime on another thing online. And so for those people, Clean Week can be run for free, for absolute free. So not putting their credit card down on file for anything, but actually just signing up for a free Team Beachbody account gets them access into the Clean Week workouts and all of the materials that go along with Clean Week. So if you guys do want to run free groups, that's an excellent way to kind of get people to kind of be like, okay, well, now I don't have that financial barrier at all. It still introduces them into, that it's an actual workout program. It's not like random workouts of the day, but it's an actual system of workouts. I actually got a really comprehensive meal plan with this. And actually, you can get them into Shakeology, but the free version doesn't have Shakeology. But all these things, they realize it's a legitimate company, that they are going to get a legitimate product with this. And so that should make them feel comfortable enough to, when you run your next program, they say, okay, well, I'd like to join in on that next program. Well, then you sign them up for either their next challenge pack, or if they're still hesitant about, I don't know what I'm signing up for, I still don't know if I can afford this, then you can still use that 14-day free trial into your next challenge group. And then at that point, they're 14 days into a trial group. If you're doing something like 21-day fix, no way somebody's going to be like, well, I don't want to finish 21-day fix. Like, I have another week, but I don't want to finish. They're probably going to convert with you. So it's a nice way for people with financial barriers for you to kind of guide them, sometimes kicking and screaming. That's okay. But for you to have something to guide them through to kind of show them that it's going to be okay, their credit card information is going to be okay, they're going to get a legitimate product, and they're going to be happy. The insecurity barrier, we have an intensifier instead of a modifier. And with that intensifier, I found that I had a group at one point when we were designing Clean Week. And the first group that came in, I had designed it like any other program. I had the modifier. And the modifier was really what made it a beginner program. One of the things Carl and I talked about is we want it to be a legitimate program that any level could do, but we also wanted it to be accessible for people that were beginners. And so the modifier was originally what made it a beginner's program. And so I had this test group and nobody did the modifier. I should have known better from my years of teaching classes and teaching people. People feel like they're doing less than when they do the modifier. I did that program, but I only did the modifier, and they feel like, oh, well, I kind of did that program. And you're sitting there like, no, you rocked that program. You made that program work for you. What are you talking about? But you also know from any time you've had to use the modifier, I'm sure, me too, I use the modifier, I'm like, oh, I'm using the modifier, even if it's something that you're just trying to work on or whatever. And so there's just like that mental block about what a modifier is. And so the second day the first day, when they went through the workout, nobody used the modifier and people were dropping like flies. I had like a few people actually finish the workout, to be honest. And by the end, they were like, you're going to kill a beginner. Like, what kind of program did you create? Like, nobody did the modifier. But the second day I had a new group come in and I'm like, you know what? I'm just flipping it. I'm going to make the modifier the base move, and I'm going to create an intensifier, which was just the regular move before. I had a whole new group of people come in, and now my beginners that came into that test group stayed at the base move, felt completely comfortable at the base move. I had my advanced people that were at the intensifier, and then I had the people that were kind of moderate that were going back and forth between the base and the intensifier. And at the end of the workout, everybody was like, man, I got a great workout in. The beginners that use the modifier the entire time, if they even tried one intensifier, instead of feeling down about, I did the modifier, they were like, not only did I do that workout, but I rocked that intensifier at some point too. Like, they were super excited about it. So they shouldn't be so intimidated by this program. And then another thing is with the meal plan, a lot of people don't like getting into the kitchen. The kitchen is also an intimidating place. So we made the meal plan very, very simple. And really this should create a foundation for them to always fall back on. If they do go into other programs and they're feeling a little bit overwhelmed in learning some of the other meal plans and stuff, instead of just completely falling off the wagon, it's like, well, you always have those simple meal plans to fall back on with Clean Week. And so you can feel comfortable learning a new program while you still have something to fall back on, instead of just like, oh, I don't know what these containers are, I have to drop everything. They can continue with Clean Week as they're learning and as they're picking up new pieces of these other programs. So that's a nice thing too. And the last one is that time barrier. So with the time barrier, that's a huge one. Everybody's busy, but these workouts are only 30 minutes long. Meal prepping, again, we made it super easy, so they should be in and out of that kitchen. I am not somebody who likes to cook, and I'm not somebody who likes to clean up after I cook. So that's exactly kind of what I focused my meal plan around, was simple ingredients, things that they could put together quickly and just have grab and goes in the fridge, and make sure you take a look through that entire meal plan, because at the beginning of the book, there's actual recipes, again, simple recipes, but in the back of the book, there's just like, cook a batch of brown rice, cook a batch of protein, cook a batch of vegetables, stick it all in your fridge, grab and go. So there's even more simple ideas towards the back of the book. That's actually more how I kind of create my meal plan. Because like I said, I'm not a big chef or anything. I just want it to be simple in my day-to-day life. So with Clean Week, again, it should be smashing all of these barriers, and people should be feeling super positive about it at the end of the week, because it should be an accessible learning experience for new people entering your challenge groups. And one of the other things I've been learning, kind of last thought, but one of the other things I've been learning is not only is it good for your new challengers coming in to learn about Beachbody and kind of get their feet wet, but it's also excellent for your new coaches. So you have new coaches coming in, it's like they already kind of had that insecurity about even starting a fitness program, then they fell in love with the program, they decided to be a coach. There's a whole new set of insecurities now that have to do with being a coach and starting their business, right? And so Clean Week is an excellent way to get them set up and starting their first new challenge group. If they post on their page, on their Facebook or Instagram pages, like, hey, I'm running a free fitness group, Clean Week group. We're going to do workouts every day. You're going to stream them online. You're going to get a free meal plan. Who wants to join me? A lot of people are going to say yes, because it is free. And so now you have a pool of people who are at least interested, and you're not cold calling them anymore. That makes the new coach feel a little bit more comfortable about who they're dealing with. It's only a week-long program that they have to kind of do with their challenge group. So instead of setting them up with something that's super long and, you know, oh man, I have to set up an 80-day challenge group, a 60-day challenge group, that sounds very overwhelming. Well, let's start you with a 1-week challenge group, so you can kind of breathe after a week, get your feet wet, and then start going into some of the other challenge groups. So it should be an excellent way to kind of coach your coaches up on how to run their first groups and get them to start having a dialogue with new people a little bit better. So I think that is kind of my wrap up of all the things Clean Week. I hope that was helpful for you guys, and I really do hope it helps you guys grow your businesses. And if you guys have any questions for me.
That was really awesome. Thank you so much. Definitely helpful. Like, I had goosebumps. I don't know about anyone else. When you're talking about this, your family and how your dad like got first place, like I had goosebumps. Like, that's so amazing. And then how you guys went on to make it a family thing. You know, that the gym thing, that's so cool to me. And I related a lot to when you said like you knew you needed to make changes, but you guys didn't really know. You were kind of just going for like the low calories, the low fat. I feel like that's something a lot of us do. And we're like, oh, we're eating healthier. So definitely could relate to a lot of that. It was funny. I'm glad you talked about the 20s show, because I loved it. I like binge watched it right when it first came out. I was kind of curious how you got into that though. So that was really cool to hear. And how they did the winners. That was nuts.
Yeah.
This program is awesome, and it's definitely something I recommend to my clients to start off with, because like you said, it's 7 days. They're not intimidated. It's 30-minute workouts. It's got a great meal plan. So this is definitely an awesome program, and it's great that there are those options. Like, I love how you said about the barriers, the financial insecurities and time, because it really does kind of nip all those in the butt. So, and it's cool that they can try it for free, or the 14-day free trial, and then it gives them that kind of taste. And I feel like usually when people, they do a 7-day program, they're going to be feeling better after those 7 days. So, you know, then they can do it again, or, you know, try something different. So yeah, it's an awesome program. My question for you is, I don't know if anyone else has questions. If you guys want to go first, but my question is just, do you have any plans to do anything else with like another program? I know I don't know if you can tell us that, but I didn't know if
there was something in the works, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I'm hoping for something to be in the works. You know, there's I think 10 trainers now, so it's kind of like they filter through everybody, I feel like. So I'm just like sitting here like, okay, Jericho got a program. Like,
that's what we were all
waiting for my phone call.
Yeah. We were all talking about that actually, because we noticed how they're kind of going through the trainers. So we were like, oh, I'm sure she'll be coming up again soon, because yeah, Joel had his, and Shanti had his, and Autumn had hers, and Jericho.
Absolutely. I'd like to do not only a longer program, but I would like to go back to kind of like creating a program that's more around my style of training and stuff, and puts a little bit more of my personality into the workout style. You know, I loved creating Clean Week because it is, like I said, the people that I train day to day. And I think it's cool that a lot of people starting out with Beachbody are starting out with me. So I absolutely love Clean Week for what it's used for, but I would like to create a program that's a little bit more my style.
Well, I definitely hope to see one from you in the near future, and I'm sure everyone else would too. Yeah, Clean Week is so awesome. It's actually the one and only program I could get my boyfriend to do and finish. So yeah, and he got awesome results from it too.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of times in the test group, we had a lot of people that were true beginners. And so, like I said, the moves are very accessible. So people usually feel a lot more comfortable getting in and out of those moves. Not so much, a little bit of balancing, but not so much down and up off the floor, a little bit of that, but not too much. A lot of, things that they're just going to feel comfortable no matter where they're at in their finish journey. But they should feel like they can do it. And with the test group, we had true beginners that were starting that, when you first start out on your fitness journey, you're more likely to kind of have that like initial drop in weight. So I will say that was the case for a lot of these people. They had significant weight to lose and they were true beginners. But we had people that lost like 10 pounds in that first week. And I got to be honest, if you take a true beginner and you get them to lose 10 pounds in a week, they're going to be like, I'll sign up for whatever you say. Like if they really stick to that meal plan and program, they can have really great results as beginners.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my boyfriend lost like 9 pounds or something. Yeah, it was.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely a wicked program. Do you ladies have any questions for Megan?
It doesn't have to be in regards to Clean Week if you don't want it to.
Anything? It's funny. I'm a huge introvert, and I know some of my girls we're pretty quiet. We're a quiet bunch, so I don't know if anyone.
Yeah, and you guys can always reach out to me on social media, Megan Davies Fitness on Instagram and on Facebook. But yeah, I'm a huge introvert too, so on social media and stuff, all that stuff can be hard. Which is when I started realizing it. It was hard for me getting used to all that stuff. It's hard for new coaches getting used to all that stuff. So Clean Week is kind of set up for new coaches to kind of get their feet wet with that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you definitely give us all that help. Like you were an introvert, like, hey, look at all the amazing things you've done and stepped out of your comfort zone. So that's awesome. Hope no one has any questions. We won't keep you. I just want to thank you so much again for doing this for us. It was awesome. I know I got lots of notes and great takeaways, and it was just such an honor to have you on here with us.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking the time and inviting me. And like I said, reach out anytime.
Awesome. Thank you again.
You're welcome. Good night, guys.
Bye.